Hello, everyone. It's Kenny Wallace coming to you from New Smyrna Beach, Florida. We're going to talk about the events that happened all the way across the United States in Los Angeles, California. But before we get going, got to have my dear friend Charlie Marlow. Charlie, why don't you take away, buddy? And what did you think of that race out in L.A.?
All right. Thank you, Kenny. Yeah, I watched. I thought it was pretty cool. Kind of the whole event, what they had going with Ice Cube, and obviously in a football stadium, you build this new track. I will say I'm watching at the end, and I was hoping, especially in a non-points race, that Kyle Busch would push Joey Logano at the end there. I think it was a little anticlimactic, just the ending, but overall, it seemed like it was a pretty big hit. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that was a great take. So, it's kind of like the Super Bowl or the World Series or the Stanley Cup, right? We want that Game 7 moment. Sometimes we don't get it, but this was a different situation. I have to give NASCAR 100%, A+ effort, just for the fact that we all know where NASCAR's at right now. It's not national news, that NASCAR has been struggling. Listen, they took a brave and bold step. I mean, let's think about it. They tore up the UCLA football field. that alone is sacred ground. And, they did something that's never been done before. And like you said, they brought in some musical acts. They brought in a taste of LA. I mean, it to me, it worked, but yes, you're right. Kyle Busch, well, let's go over it. We had Joey Logano win the race. And of course, Kyle Busch was running second. Everybody was on the edge of their seat because Kyle Busch was catching Joey Logano. And we're like, oh, here goes. He's going to knock him out of the way. And then all of a sudden, like Kyle Busch said, he lost his tires. His tires got hot. They got wore out. So, yeah, from that standpoint, you're right. It was anticlimactic. But for me, it was still a great event.
Is this more about the marketing of the sport? The more I read about NASCAR wanting to get into new markets, obviously we care a lot about St. Louis and the first ever Cup race coming on June 5th to Worldwide Technology Raceway. But I would also think that anytime you're in Hollywood, the number 2 market in the country, in Los Angeles, that's a lot of eyeballs and potentially a lot of new eyeballs on the sport.
Yeah, you're knowledgeable, Charlie. I think one thing we gotta make sure we do not overlook first is how powerful Fox Sports is. They have their hands and blueprint all over this. It's Fox Sports right there in LA, right down the street, from the UCLA Coliseum, and they got a vested interest in NASCAR. For Fox Sports, it's all football, the World Series, and NASCAR. Takes a lot of money for Fox to put on these NASCAR races. As you all know, especially yourself, I worked for Fox for 15 years. And, all the executives tell me that it takes more cameras, more money to put on TV, a NASCAR race. NASCAR race is very expensive. So, I think they're trying to promote, and I think they're trying to reinvent themselves. And yes, listen, there's talk now next year, maybe a street course. Pick your city. What's next? And I think people are excited to hear where are they going next. What are they going to do now? Remember last year they ran on dirt at Bristol. Now they're inside that Coliseum. So what's next?
And Kenny, obviously a lot of people talking about the next gen car, the look of the car, how it performs. NASCAR fans are always wondering, what's the new car? Is it going to be a stock car? Is it going to be old school NASCAR? So what do you think of the look and performance of the cars at the Clash?
Charlie, I'd call them out. I would call NASCAR out if I thought this car was a failure, but they really did do a good job. I've been in constant communication with my dear friends, Chris Rice, a lot of the NASCAR people, and they like it. Now, we did see some small failures, but the drivers took a lot of responsibility. Tyler Reddick in the number 8. He had some type of, drivetrain issues. And he said, look, he went to spin the tires and shift, and it didn't work out. We've seen Denny Hamlin have, power steering, power steering belt failure, but there was no wholesale problems. The car performed great. It didn't have anything to do with the competition. And they're going to be able to take this car just as it is. And they're going to be able to run the dirt race at Bristol. They're going to be able to run Daytona, Talladega. They're going to be able to go to the street course races. So I believe this is a big win for the teams. All the teams I talk to, they love this car.
And Kenny, we're going to talk a lot more next week, really doing a preview on Daytona. But just if I ask you for a shortish answer in terms of storylines or what you're most looking forward to heading into the Daytona 500, how would you answer that?
Do we have a repeat winner? Denny Hamlin is always really strong at the Daytona 500. It's sold out. They're announcing they've sold 100,000 seats. But, really the storyline, it is the drivers, but this car, it's an equalizer. And, we could have an upset. We could have an upset win because this car really equalizes everybody. We've seen, Michael McDowell win this race, years ago, and he was a big deal. So who knows? I'm looking for an upset. To me, that's a big storyline because of this new car.
All right. Final question for you. We see the beautiful palm trees in the background, but you were rained out at Volusia. So tell folks about your schedule and Volusia running dirt and what the next week's going to look like for you.
We had 2 days, Charlie, of 85 degrees. We're down here. We've been swimming in this pool. So we went to go to the racetrack, and, we had rain on Saturday night and a lot. But it's been very cloudy. It's been only the high in the mid-50s. And I'm a dirt racer now. We're dealing with raw dirt. And it just is not drying out. We need some sun. The sun finally just popped out about 2 hours ago. So I don't think we're going to get racing until Wednesday or Thursday, but we are here for the next 2 weeks. We're going to race here at Volusia all the way to the 12th, which is this Saturday. Saturday night, February 12th will be my last race here. Then we move over on the west side. We go to Ocala, Florida, and we're going to race February 17th, 18th, 19th. So everybody pay attention to our YouTube channel here, and we'll be documenting every night.
Love it. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Kenny, great talking to you as always. Enjoy Florida and good luck racing, sir.
All right, Charlie. Thanks a lot. See you next time.